something that a lot of church leaders struggle with, but also a lot of businesses struggle with. And that is they forget that the people they're communicating to are not on their staff, right? I can't tell you how many companies I work with. One of the examples I use with companies is this idea that when we use confusing or insider language, what we're doing is actually, it's like handing somebody an 8-pound bowling ball, but covering it in Vaseline and saying, here you go, hold this, right? And churches are the biggest culprits of this, by the way. Somebody new comes to your church on Sunday morning and they say, hey, what do you have for our 10th grade son? And you go, well, Collide meets in the attic for Impact. And they immediately go like, why do I need a medical release form and a helmet for whatever that is? What they meant to say was the high school students meet upstairs on Wednesday nights at 6:30, right?
That's it.
Businesses do the same thing. And it's this concept called the curse of knowledge, where you know what you're talking about at a level 9 or 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. Your audience understands it at a 1 or 2. And so we don't often, and again, companies do the same thing. I could tell you 100 stories of clients in the last year that have done this, where they don't do the work to say, okay, we're a 9 or 10. We've got to take it down to a 1 or 2 because our audience, for businesses, it's customers, for nonprofits, it's donors, for churches, it's members. They're not in our staff meetings. They're not in our hallway conversations. Right. They're not in our email threads. They're not on Slack or Microsoft Teams. They're not on calls. They're not in our project planning. They're not in all that. They're not in any of that stuff. They have their own world, their own stuff.